guys, this is going to be our first installment of the federal job search video series that I'm doing. So this session tonight, we're going to be talking about the job search prep, what you need to have in order before you get started. The first two things that we're going to address are the documents that you may be required to present, and then also sort of your mindset, how to prepare your mind for going into this job search the job search process. What I've noticed is the two biggest things that people struggle with is the preparation piece before they get started. This is not the kind of job where you're just going to show up on an open interview day. You're going to walk in, tell them about yourself, answer questions about your strengths and weaknesses, and then they'll let you know in a week whether or not you're qualified. You have to prepare for the federal job search process. The biggest thing that people get back from HR that you're applying to is if you don't have your documents, you can't get to the process of an interview. So they're not going to interview everybody that submits an application. There's a selection process. And the types of documents you may be required to present are your immigration status, to show if you're a U.S. citizen, or because you're also competing with people outside of even our country that are applying for jobs in the federal government. So you're going to have to be able to have social security card, your birth certificate, or whatever your current immigration status may be. You may have to show proof of that. You're going to have to show proof of if you're currently a federal employee or have any prior federal service. You're going to have to show the status of which you left the federal government, or the status of which you're currently applied. If you're currently a federal employee, you'll show your SF-50 to show what position you're currently in and what positions you've held in the past. You can get your SF-50 downloaded off the internet or get it from your current HR department and save that in a document, and you'll have that whenever you're trying to apply. If you were discharged from the military, you're going to need to show your DD-214 or whatever shows your discharge status from the active duty military. If you have gone to school and you have a degree, then you're going to need to show your school transcripts. Let's see some other things that you may be required to show. You may have to show if you're going to be in a clinical setting and you're a nurse, or you're applying for a CNA job or a job that you're caregiving for patients or something like that, like if you're working for the VA, then you may need to show your vaccination status. That would be like a vaccination card that shows your boosters, or they'll have you fill out a document showing why you may be exempt to being vaccinated. For like a religious or medical exemption. So you need to know and understand what may be required before you jump into a federal job. The other piece that I mentioned is addressing your mindset about applying for a federal job. What I found out is your belief system really affects your behavior. So, and this affects the way that you show up in the job search project and at work. So whatever you believe to be true is going to be how you behave. So if you believe that you're not qualified, or the federal government doesn't hire people that look like you or that have your disability status, or that you have this belief system that all federal employees are sellouts, or that they're lazy, they don't do a good job, once you get on with the federal government, you can never be hired or never be fired, and you don't have to worry about your performance, and everything is just legality, and that the interview process isn't taken seriously, and they already have picked out who they want to hire, and this is just a facade, and you already have these preconceived ideas about what the federal hiring process is going to be, then you're going to have a very difficult time being successful in this process if you have a bunch of negative myths or views of the federal government. Also, don't be limited by things, what you've done in the past. Just because you have only had maybe an entry-level job, or if you've only worked call center work, or if you only worked food service or housekeeping, or any job that you feel like is not in a senior level leadership position, that doesn't mean that you can never ever get there. It may just mean you need to identify what is missing. What do I need to know? What do I need to do? What certifications do I need to take to get me where I need to go? And those other jobs are definitely not bad jobs. I'm just saying if your desire is for a leadership position, then don't discount where you're at currently, or if you've never held a senior leadership position in federal government, that doesn't mean that you're never going to be qualified. So you don't need to start off with a preconceived idea about what you're capable of. It may just mean that you may need education. Maybe you're worried about things in your background, or you've been terminated from other jobs, you're worried about those things coming up, and you've already told yourself this story or this narrative about how you're not qualified and you're never going to get a job at the federal government because of all of these other things. You don't know that. Those are just thoughts and beliefs that you believe to be true. So you need to investigate, educate yourself, do your due diligence, research. Don't let yourself off the hook because of some idea that you already have. What I've noticed a lot of is a lot of times, I found myself offering jobs to people and offering feedback to people and trying to help people get to positions that they've told me that they want to be in. But what I find out later is that it's not actually the truth. They have a bunch of excuses for why they can't get there. And even if you show them and map them out a road for them to get where they want to go, they don't believe that they can have that job or that they deserve that job. So that's really one thing that you want to address. This is not a psychology class or anything like that. I just want you to be mindful of your unconscious biases that may prejudice how you show up in the selection process or the federal hiring process. So the next session is going to be around the application and actually getting out there on usajobs.gov and searching for a job and finding a vacancy announcement, how to read that announcement. So I'll see you guys there.